What's up, YouTube? I figured I'd make a quick little video while I'm waiting to get unloaded here. I don't know. It's been a minute since I've made one. In a different truck now, same company. It's been a weird mess, I guess. It didn't work for about 6 weeks, just because of some family issues, constant truck issues, and kind of left the company but never really quite turned in my key. So it's been a weird mess, but I'm back doing the intermodal thing. I still like the company, but I don't know, if I could ever save up about 10 grand or something, I'd probably just plop down money on my own truck and be done with the Dart truck that I'm leasing and I'm with a smaller local carrier that Dart just leases their trucks to. Not that I dislike Dart, they're not a bad company, it's just I just feel like their trucks for leases are very poorly maintained, and they're one of those that their maintenance program isn't the best. I've never actually had more than about $300 in my maintenance account. So anybody that says, oh yeah, there's people that pay off their trucks with their maintenance account, I don't know who the fuck does that unless they are just going into their savings account and burning money there. And I've about exhausted all of mine. I think I started out with about 5,000-6,000 or something when I started with Dart last year. I've about maxed out my credit cards and burned out my bank account. But I mean, that's also a lot of that's just I haven't worked in 6 weeks, so I've been living off that. But it's been kind of nice just taking a break in that sense from trucking. I really don't even know how long I'm going to keep doing it. I keep toying with the idea of being a company guy again, maybe going back to Dollar General. I really like being home daily, and I got family members that kind of need me to be home daily. One of them's wheelchair bound, can't really get around without somebody driving them and stuff. And I got a dad with a heart condition. My mom's got breast cancer, so it's, I like knowing I'm not stuck on the road for like 6 weeks or something, or 3 weeks at a time, or just all that OTR kind of life, or even 7 days. I mean, never knowing where you're going to go. And I know people say, oh, you can find local jobs anywhere. Man, I have been applying out the ass right now. I'd say I've probably, in the past 6 weeks, applied to at least 30 different carriers, along with like Taco Bell, Bass Pro, GameStop, Guitar Center. I'm a guy that's like, I got 15 years management experience. I got a college degree. I got a FAA flight dispatch license, and I got a CDL. And like nobody's freaking calling right now. Booming economy, baby. I don't know. Obviously, everybody in trucking is feeling it, and part of the reason is why, I'm still here doing this lease thing, because I just can't find anything. I have not been able to find anybody that just calls me back and it's just like, yeah, we got an opening, and it's local, or hell, it's even just home every week. I don't know what it is, if it's just my area. I'm in Tennessee, in Memphis, so which is a weird area to begin with there too. It's like everybody pays notoriously low. I think Cisco was like $20 or something is what I saw for them, and I've applied even at the LTLs. The best one I think that I've seen was it was either Saya or XPO that was like $32, which was pretty good. Obviously there's FedEx and stuff. I've got back issues. I'm in chronic pain daily just from truck driving. So, I'm dealing with tennis elbow, carpal tunnel. I don't know. I enjoy driving some days because of just listening to music and just living life and, getting from A to B, and that's it. I don't have anybody hounding me for, safety things, or there's no driver camera. I just get from A to B and I get home. But it's also really fatiguing. Like, there's certain runs I do where I'm right at the 11 hour, maybe I go a little over to get home mark, and I feel like shit after it, you know. And I mean, there was one week, I think it was not last week, but the week before that, I did about 3,200 miles 6 days in a row, same location, Memphis to Evansville. And it's not a hard drive, but it's just one of those that, like, it's not a straight shot. Like, I cut through like 4 or 5 different, you know, highways, and it just there's something about it, like, and it's one of those I really can't stop to take a leak or anything like that. I basically just get up there, take a break, and come back. And I tend to go over occasionally, but it's like, where am I going to stop? I'm going through a bunch of small towns to get back, so it is what it is. But you know, I don't know, it's fatiguing, and this new truck that I'm in, it's not bad, but I have no real attachment to it. The last truck, I felt like, I don't know, I was a little attached to it more. I knew its kinks and stuff, and this one, it's just a truck, you know. It's not even like as a company driver where it's like, I've been in this truck for 6 months and this is my home. It's like, this one's like, I could walk away and not give a shit tomorrow about this truck. But the other truck, I really was fighting for it, and I would have had it paid off, I think, in another like 6 months. But it had transmission issues. It had a fifth wheel that got all fucked up. The steering, I think it was like there was a leak in the steering fluid, and then on top of that, like, it needed alignment, and like something was up with the steering column or something. It was like $20,000 in repairs, you know. And I kept it on top of the brakes and other little things. But you know, I'd probably put at least another 10 into it since I've been with Dart, since I've been leasing with Dart, you know. And so it just, I don't know, the money. I've had 1 or 2 weeks where I came close to 2,000. The past 2 weeks where I went to Evansville, that's the first time I ever broke the $2,000 mark. But given I'm also a home daily driver, my runs are shorter than the average person leasing with Dart. So I've heard a lot of people with Dart are making about 2,000 or more. But Dart's mostly an OTR company, and I'm just leasing a truck with them that's going on with a smaller carrier they work with. That's a home daily intermodal. So just keep that in mind. But it works for me because I can take off work whenever I need to help family members, and you know, or if I'm feeling burned out. I mean, I'm not one of those truck drivers. Even if I'm become an owner operator and I own my own truck, it's, yeah, I want to make more money, but there's a good portion of it that's just like, I just want a life, and I need to keep my sanity. And I'm somebody that, like, 50 hours a week of this sometimes is brutal, you know, just depending on the people on the road, you know, just what's going on in your home life. You know, I need to get back into working out. Like, I need to get healthy again. I'm trying to diet and kind of doing like an 18-hour fast thing. I feel like I've kind of thinned up a little bit, but I still feel pretty exhausted. I still feel like I need to work out and kind of get cardio and stuff, just to get my endurance up. Because I feel it, you know, just when I'm walking like a mile or something, or just even from one end of a parking lot to another at a shipper or receiver. Like, you know, it's not healthy to sit as long as we do, and it's hard to find a balance between, do I work out at 3 in the morning when I go in at 4:30 or 5, or do I come home and work out, you know, when I get off work at like 7 or 8 at night, and I have to be back in 10 hours. Like, it's not easy, you know. And then you're like, oh, I'll just do it on my 34, and you're 34. It's like you've done close to 70 hours in a week. You're exhausted. Like, the last thing you want to do is work out, you know. And chances are you want to eat a pizza and have a couple of beers or something, you know, or just sleep. You know, I don't think I'm the only driver out there that just is horribly depressed sometimes after the end of the week with this job, because it's like, what am I doing? What's the purpose of it? You know, am I really getting ahead and making thousands of dollars monthly, or am I just kind of getting by and functioning in society and paying my bills, and that's it? is this job really just keeping me afloat? And maybe I should just like abandon all my possessions and bills and things and just say fuck it. You know, I mean, I'm 37. I'm still living with a family member. You know, and given I'm also helping them, you know, and stuff, and taking care of them here and there. But you know, it's not where I thought I'd be in life. I thought I'd have more and you know, be farther ahead. But you know, I've lost 2 friends to suicides. One died of a heart attack when I was like 22, 23. You know, I at times I'm like, I don't feel like I really know how to socialize in a full-time job again. You know, I like being away from people because I don't have to feel things anymore. And on my difficult days, I don't have to talk to anybody. You know, I can just sit in the truck and grieve or think and watch the world pass me by. I'm not trying to vent or anything, but I don't know, I'm just throwing my thoughts out there to YouTube. If there's any other truck drivers that kind of dealt with this shit, I mean, you know, I think a lot of people want to be owner-operators because they do want to get more money. They want to have an exit strategy, and maybe it's, you know, I'm going to get a truck, do this for 5-10 years, and, you know, bail or something, or really save up. You know, the company guys do it slow and steady, or they just, you know, they like the security, and I mean, part of me likes that too. I want to get health insurance and stuff again. I don't really care about the retirement plans and things like that because I don't see me truck driving for like 20-30 years. But you know, I don't know, part of me is like, if I could make it another 2 to 5 years in this, save up, you know, 50 to 100,000, maybe open a little recording studio, or just, you know, I don't know, hell, even just buy an RV, just live in the middle of nowhere and just, you know, go off grid or something. Like, not even because I hate the government. I mean, I don't like the government, but just more, just, I don't know, just kind of live out my days and just not worry about this stupid bullshit of paying bills and, you know, gotta have a big house and a nice car, and just being like, for what? So I just die saying I had more shit than you did? Like, I mean, at this point, I just want to know that I'm not starving and my family is not suffering. Because it seems like everybody's struggling right now. I mean, I've got friends hitting me up for money. Hell, I'm hitting up people for money. I'm hitting up my uncle for money and being like, hey man, I haven't taken a decent check home in a minute. Can you help me for gas? And I'm not proud of that. I feel pretty shitty about it. You know, I got my parents pawning stuff. You know, it's just, my sister is about to have a baby, and, you know, her husband's struggling to find work. I mean, it's just, anybody that says this is a booming economy and there's thousands of jobs to be had, where? You know, they're all fast food and restaurants and stuff, and they're not paying well. They're paying tips. You know, trucking sucks right now. It sucks ass. It's a terrible time to be in debt as a student. You know, at least like in COVID time, like you could say, this isn't for me, I'm gonna bail, and then, you know, 2-3 months later say, well, you know, I really need to make money and pay that back, and you know, in a day you're gonna get hired. I mean, here it's just like, it's a struggle right now. Like, I guess if you're willing to do OTR, maybe it's a little bit easier. Maybe there's always somebody that's gonna take you on. But those specific trucking gigs that you're wanting because, you know, this one's regional, or it's dedicated, or it's local or something, they're harder to find right now. And I've seen a lot of trucking companies drop their cents per mile for drivers that are coming on. So, you know, Werner and Dollar General isn't paying what it was when I was with them. You know, I mean, even like JB Hunt's intermodal dropped. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do ultimately. You know, the next week I go to Bonnaroo. The week after that I'll be in Michigan at Electric Forest. I'd like to take my truck up to Electric Forest, as funny as that is, just to, because I bought an RV pass and I don't have an RV now, so you know, fucking life there as a lease operator, like, oh, I'm gonna have money and survive, and you know, I've already had to move out of an apartment. I mean, that's the struggle as a lease operator, is you really, if you don't lease on with a company that has a really good maintenance account like Prime or Hirschbach or somebody where, you're really putting into a pool. I get you want to keep your money and, I'm giving $100 a week or whatever, and that's a lot of money at the end. Fuck it, man. Like if you just say, hey, my truck broke down, I need it fixed, they fix it, pull it from the pool, and you keep paying into the pool as long as you keep leasing, who gives a shit? Because you can keep actually driving. You're only down for like a day or two or something, a week at most if your truck's really that fucked up. But the ones where you're putting in, cent per mile, averaging about 200 or so a week, you really need to be taking like another 250 to 500 out of your paycheck and just putting it into that, because most of these fleet trucks are shit. They're not treated that well, and it's one of those, like, I don't know how many drivers were in my previous truck before I was, but I know that truck sat for at least 6 months in, I think, St. Louis, or not St. maybe it wasn't St. Louis, but Pontoon Beach. So it sat through most of the winter in the salted roads, and I had a lot of rusty shit falling off, and cables and things going bad from sitting there for a while. So, and they get it right up to that point of like, Love says it's drivable, sellable, so DOT is not going to give you a out of service for something, so let's move it on to the next operator. And I it wasn't like, people say, well, you should have never taken the truck. I looked the truck over, I talked to their mechanic, we did a PM and all that shit for it, and when I first picked the truck out, it was a piece of paper. I got a piece of paper with like 12 different trucks in a couple different states, and that was the closest to home. It was either go to like California or like Texas, or no, I was in Texas, or I was either gonna have to wait a couple days in Texas or go to California, or like wait a couple days and go to like Egan or something, and this one was available, and I was like, okay, and I didn't find out that this truck had already had transmission trouble until I walked away from it and was just like, I can't do this anymore. And my fleet manager was like, I was looking for an old email from you, and I found out that a previous driver almost 2 years ago had said this thing had transmission trouble. And I'm like, and they just passed it along to another driver, and this one, I mean, I picked it up, and it had sat at a shop for a month after getting repairs, and literally drove it back from Jackson, Mississippi, got it to Memphis, and the fucking coolant reservoir and the coolant sensor go out. Like, it's just leaking coolant all over the place. Like, I make it like 150 miles, something like that. I'm like, what the fuck? It just sat at a shop for a month. It's just, I don't know. It is what it is. And then, just this past week, I did one run to Evansville last week because it sat in the shop, for all that shit. And fucking the airline, suddenly, like, I just haven't cut the airline. I mean, sometimes I feel like my truck's being sabotaged or something, like some homeless bum's just, doing some shit to it or something, but I don't know. Regardless, that's me just ranting at this point about life and things, but yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna go to these festivals, and I'm still looking for other driving gigs and stuff, but I don't hate the carrier that I'm with, and I don't really hate Dart. I just, at this point, I'd rather just have total freedom of the truck. Be like, I can walk away to another carrier. I can have this thing drive to 70 miles an hour because it's just tiring being a snail on the road at 67. And I really don't like how these trucks are specced. I've got a PACCAR with an Eaton transmission, and it just, no. I've been in a Kenworth that had a Cummins, and I've been in a Peterbilt with a Cummins too, but I don't know what the transmission was in this other Kenworth with the Cummins, but that thing could haul ass fast. Like, I went from Memphis, or no, I went from Bowling Green to California. I think it was Modesto, and I was doing like 85 at times. Like, I mean, I was fairly light, but I think it was about 30,000 pounds. So it's not super light, but like right now I'm in a 40-foot that was only 30,000 pounds, and this thing fucking drags. Like, I feel like I'm pulling 70,000 pounds with Dollar General back in the day. I mean, I feel like I'm in a fucking like international or something. It's dragging ass. Like I don't. I like Kenworth's interior, but I mean at this point I'm like, I don't know. I'd get a Cascadia. You know, just I don't know. It's a truck's a truck to me. Obviously I want it to look nice and run, but yeah, I as far as buying this one, I wouldn't say that if I met the end of my lease that I would pay the $20,000. It's, you know, I don't know if it'd be worth it. I really don't. But yeah, I don't know. If there's any other lease operators or company guys that see this and feel like me, where it's like, yeah, what are we doing? Just working, you know, and just struggling, and it seems like it's just an endless loop of, you know, wake up, haul something, go back home, or go to sleep and haul something, and you know your life hasn't, you know, peaked or something, like or maybe you have peaked, or you're just looking for meaning. I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. I look for some reason to keep doing this a lot of days. Right now, it's just I can't find anything else, and too, I don't know, stubborn or stupid or ashamed or whatever to just quit and have nothing available right now. But, I don't know. Just a rant. I don't know if anybody will even see this, but hey.